So your plastic surgery practice has been investing in Google Ads, SEO, social media, but your patient numbers just aren't growing. I'm going to walk you through the full marketing funnel for plastic surgery practices, share tips on how you can close more of the leads that are actually booking consultations, and finally achieve the growth that you aim to achieve for your practice. All right, so let's get into it. There are 4 phases of marketing: awareness, consideration, decision, and advocacy. Everything that you do for your marketing addresses a different part of this funnel. And there is no one single marketing channel that can address all 4 of them. So for example, if all that you are doing is Facebook ads, you're going to achieve very limited success. So let's talk about each one of these stages. Awareness. This is A, where a patient becomes aware that you exist, they know that they have a problem, and they're looking for someone to solve it, and they are now aware that you offer the solution. The other type of awareness that you can generate is solution-unaware awareness. For example, someone that's Googling, am I overweight or do I have gynecomastia? Or a search like, how do I get rid of gynecomastia? Or chest fat versus gynecomastia. These are the types of searches that someone that may not be aware of the solutions that are available to them that they're going to perform as they're looking into their concerns. And it is an opportunity for a plastic surgeon that can help them to educate them, make them aware of the solutions that are out there, and obviously making them aware of their clinic. Next, you have the consideration phase. The consideration phase is when someone is weighing all of their options. They're comparing you to other surgeons in their market. They may be comparing different procedures. They may be considering whether they want to go through with this or not. The next phase, the decision phase. This is when the person is going to go to your website, they're going to book the appointment, they're going to show up, and they're going to finally make the decision whether to go through with the procedure or not. And lastly is the advocacy phase, also viewed as the retention phase. This is after the person's had their procedure. It's what they're going to say about you to everybody else out there in the world. It's whether they're going to come back to you for another procedure. It's going to be if they recommend you to their friends. So the awareness phase in marketing is when your patients are either becoming aware that your clinic exists or becoming aware of a solution that you provide. Channel number 1 that you need to focus on to generate awareness, SEO. Obviously, if someone in your market is Googling liposuction surgeon near me, this is a high intent search. They're looking for somebody just like you. And appearing in the Google search results is going to help you to get in front of that patient. At the same time, you also have content marketing that can generate awareness. The person Googling, does gynecomastia go away on its own, may not be aware that there are surgical options available, making it a prime opportunity for you both to educate him and make him aware that your practice exists. As a matter of fact, I've met with a plastic surgeon whose entire practice focuses on gynecomastia surgery. The vast majority of his patients coming from everywhere else in the country other than where he is located because of all the great content that he's published on YouTube. Men are researching their problems, they're watching his videos, they like him, and they decide that there's nobody else that they want operating on them than him. Awareness channel number 2, YouTube. Like I said, there's a lot of people out there that when they are looking into plastic surgery options, they are not going to Google first, they're actually going to YouTube. YouTube does a much better job of communicating who you are, what you are like, what your practice is like, than any blog ever will, or billboard, or Facebook ad. And if you do the whole video to blog strategy that I advocate, I'm going to link to a video in the description that talks about it in more detail. All of that YouTube content can now double as blog content that can get discovered through SEO. Awareness channel number 3, short form video. This is TikTok and Instagram Reels. Both TikTok and Instagram Reels are discovery platforms where most of the content that gets delivered to you is based not on who you follow, rather what you're interested in, what you've been engaging with, which makes it a prime channel for making someone aware of your plastic surgery practice. Awareness channel number 4, traditional advertising. I'm a digital marketing guy, but I will recognize that billboards and radio, television, it works. It just has to be sustained and repeated over and over and over. Putting up a billboard on the highway near your office is probably not going to generate a ton of business, but having that billboard up there for 5 years and regularly changing it will generate business, especially if you do a good job of calling people's attention. And lastly, paid social. Facebook and Instagram ads are very effective at driving leads for certain types of plastic surgery procedures, but not others. I've seen tremendous results for liposuction clinics, but I, for one, have never seen a rhinoplasty surgeon generate any sort of appreciable ROI from Facebook ads. So they can have varying effectiveness at generating awareness based on what it is that you do. All right, so great. People are aware of your practice. They're then going to enter the consideration phase. Basically, should I do this or not? And should I do it with you or not? There are marketing channels that you can leverage to help give you a leg up, and at the very least, get these patients to consider you over another option in their market. Consideration phase channel number 1. Your Google business profile. After someone has become aware that your practice exists, it is highly likely that they're going to end up on your Google business profile. What is it that they're going to find when they get there? They're probably going to take a look at your reviews at some point. They're probably going to click over on the pictures, and the outside shot of the parking lot is probably not going to be enough to get them to consider you over someone else. Having pictures of the inside of your clinic, your staff, preferably some before and after showcasing your best work, all of this is going to increase the likelihood of someone considering you over another option. Marketing channel number 2 during the consideration phase, organic search. Now, what I mean by this is usually those reviews searches, meaning when someone performs a search like surgeon name plus reviews, they're not always going to go to the Google business profile. Some of them are going to look at your real self. Some of them are going to look at health grades. Others are going to go to Yelp. And this is going to vary a lot based on the market that you're in. So what we end up doing is perform a Google search and see what directories are ranking for your name plus reviews. Which brings me to channel number 3, your review acquisition strategy. I could do an entire video just on getting reviews, but here are a few tips. Ask each one of the patients during your follow-up visits if they're happy, if they would be open to leaving a review. Communicate how helpful they are. Send the follow-up email. There should be links to your Google business profile, as well as a platform where they can do it anonymously like RealSelf. I'd also add that once you've really filled up the reviews on one platform, make sure you start sending them to the others. Going from 100 to 120 reviews on your Google business profile is not going to be as impactful as going from 0 to 20 on Yelp. Consideration channel number 4. The before and after gallery on your website. Each one of your procedure pages should have before and afters right below the hero section, or basically in a very prominent place that's going to be very hard to miss. But it's also important to have a link to a gallery in the navigation so that people can see your work. I'd also ask you to please invest in some good photography and some decent lighting. I'm sure that you would agree that some of these images are more compelling than others. So please put some thought in how you're showcasing your work. Consideration channel number 5, your Instagram. You'll find that lots of your past patients actually visited your Instagram and you may not have even known. It's usually the place that people go when they want to get kind of the behind the scenes view of what a doctor's office is like in a plastic surgery clinic. So please use your Instagram to educate, to entertain within good taste, and to let your prospective patients know who you are and what you're about. All right, so now someone's considered you and they're at the point of making a decision. So in the marketing funnel, you've got the decision phase. A patient found you somewhere, they're considering you, and it's time for them to make a decision. There are marketing channels available to you that will help to nudge them in your direction. Decision phase channel number 1, your website. Add a tap to dial to your website. Someone's visiting on a mobile device, make sure that that little green button is following them everywhere that they go. Enable online booking. Even if you want to follow up with your appointments afterwards just to qualify them and get rid of any tire kickers or time wasters, some patients will continue filling out forms from other plastic surgeons in their market thinking that they might not hear back from you. You don't want to lose out on a case because you were slower getting back to them than somebody else's office. Channel number 2, email. When someone has booked a consultation, they should receive a welcome email with a video that's you talking about your practice and what you believe, getting them excited about the new them, directing them over to the channels that you've been working on during the consideration phase. They may or may not have seen, and after their consultation, you're going to have some email sequences. When someone comes in interested in a specific procedure, they're going to have specific concerns that you're going to pick up on pretty quickly from the meeting. Some of them are going to be worried about recovery times. Others are going to be worried about what the final result's going to look like. Having email sequences that are going to go out to patients based on what they seem to be most concerned about during the consultation, that's sending them over to the video content that you've been producing for SEO and social media, is going to help nurture them during that decision phase. It's really important to set up these email sequences. They should all be automated. All that you need to do is take note during the consultation of what they were concerned about and making sure that whoever is running your CRM, be it your patient care coordinator or your marketing agency, that they are enrolling these patients in these sequences. Lastly, we have the advocacy phase. I'm not going to do an entire dedicated video on it, but it basically comes down to your review acquisition strategy, as well as your social media strategy. Putting out content that provides recovery tips, hosting all of that content on your Instagram and other social media channels will help build up your following on those channels as your existing clientele goes there and decides to follow you, and keep you top of mind for in the future if they ever decide that there's another procedure that they are potentially interested in. I hope this video was helpful. I have a full playlist on plastic surgery marketing. I've covered all of the different channels that I talked about in this video and a lot more detail there. It's linked in the description. Make sure you check it out.